A message from the management. Eating and drinking while viewing these videos is not advised. Please be aware you do so at your own risk. Hi guys, welcome back. And if I'm welcoming you back and you like it here, I'd love it if you stayed and subbed. Sorry, my head's mashed. I've been messing about with microphone levels and watching videos of people that are far more intelligent than me going on about this, that and the other, and it's like, no, I just want to turn the sound up. Can someone just tell me how do I get my sound back up because it's suddenly gone quiet? So we're gonna do the building a strong mother-daughter bond that lasts a lifetime girls trip to Asheville, North Carolina, mother-daughter trip. I would have hoped that she would have had a strong mother-daughter bond before her daughter reached 24, but who am I? Shall we jump in?
Hey guys, today I want to do a video about a mother-daughter wedding trip that Brooke and I just went on to my friend Sarah Jane, Chic on the Cheap. She got married this past Saturday in Asheville, North Carolina. I live on the coast in Wilmington, so that was a good 6-hour drive. I got the invitation.
6-hour drive. Is that really hard for you?
And I got a +1, and I asked John at first if he wanted to go, and he wanted to go, but you know how it is, he doesn't like to travel that much. If I asked him again today, he would probably go. He's getting better and better, but I thought
he went on golf trips. Where was his golf trip? Maybe he just doesn't want to go on trips with you.
What a wonderful opportunity for Brooke. And a lot of you tell me that one of the things that you admire about me is that I still have close relationships with my children, my mom, my brother. I really value my family relationship.
Oh, people say that, do they? They value the connection you have with your daughter. You haven't got a connection with your son, have you? Right, I'm just go and check and see if the sound levels are okay, because I'll be right back. I think it sounds alright, but let me know if your end it's weird.
Relationships. So what I thought I would do a little different in this video, I can't say we didn't go shopping because Brooke needed a strapless bra and I needed like fashion tape for my bra, so we did just run.
Hello? You knew you were going, you were invited in plenty of time, you'd chosen what you were going to wear. How did you not know that you needed a strapless bra and boob tape?
Run straight there, get that, and come back. But it wasn't a shopping trip. For me, it was a trip to be with Brooke, to show her nice things, show her a good time, and to spend that time with her and really bond even more. Now, one thing that I always say, and this may be something that you don't agree with, is I am never trying to be Brooke's best friend, ever. I never have been. And growing up, my mom was never trying to be my best friend, because you need a mom. You need a mom. So that would be a really good tip I would give to any young moms out there that have...
Go away, have you not been trying to be her best friend? Oh, I didn't like to upset them going to school. Oh, I don't like to upset them, blah blah. We sit and talk about makeup and I give them all my cast-offs. When have you ever done anything to...
young daughters, is they need a mama. They need it. They crave it. If you do not provide that structure... and
who's in that picture?
Tip I would give to any young moms out there that have, young daughters, is they need a mama. They need it. They crave...
Who is she?
Crave it. If you do not provide that structure and that safe feeling to your child, that guidance, that bonding, they will miss it. They will become less of a stable woman because they never received that. And then when they go to be
Oh, utter bollocks. What about girls that have grown up without a mama? Do you know how many people out there that have lost their parents? So does that mean that children that have grown up with just a dad or a grandparent, they're not the best they could be? You never think before you speak, do you? My life's perfect. We've got a dad and a mum and a boy and a girl, and we've done everything right. So those that haven't have done something wrong. God, she's annoying.
be a mother, they will repeat that process. I'll never forget this girl that said she did not finish high school because, you know, how children are when they're in high school, they don't like it, especially like Will, he loves school. That's his identity. He's smart. He loves school. Brooke hated school from the beginning, and I'm serious, like from preschool. Brooke needs to learn how to share. Brooke needs to learn how to take turns. I mean, she cried every day until second grade. And then I think she started crying every day in middle school. She stopped in high school, but let's just say she never loved school at all. Now, was I going to be her best friend and say, you don't need high school, just go ahead and quit? That would be like a friend thing to do. And that's what this girl told me, is that her mom let her quit high school. Then when she got to be like 24, 25, she's having to go get her GED. She's always felt, you know, negative and bad about that. She says, I wish my mom would have made me go to school. So it's just, they need that. So I thought we would just have fun and go through the pictures. And I did write down some things that I like to talk to Brooke about, that my mom used to talk to me about, and my grandmothers, both of them, used to talk to me about, that I cherish. And I think it's part of the reason that my family is so close. I never have once, not one time in 53 years, ever thought about moving away from my parents. That was on the list of criteria when I was looking for a husband, is I had to stay here with my parents. And I made that.
Oh, you had to stay in Wilmywood with your parents. Probably because you wouldn't cope anywhere else. Most people want to stretch their wings and fly and find themselves. That would be good advice to give Brooke. Get the fuck out of Wilmington and see something of the world.
That very well known. John, before he retired, worked for GE, and he could have made 2-3 times as much if we would have moved every 2 years, if we would have moved to the state where his, you know, the home plant was. And they kept offering it to him, and we just gave it up to stay here with my family and to stay here in a beautiful place and to not take my children out of school every 2 years. We made that a priority. We have always made our family a priority. When John's parents were aging, we drove 2 hours to Clinton every weekend, every week.
You think that's something to be bragging about? You drove for 2 hours. Whoop-de-fucking-do. People do that to work in London. What the fuck? You're clueless!
And 2 hours back, because that was our priority, and that's what we showed our children, and that's what my parents showed me. We were at one of my grandparents every weekend. And I do remember going to a wedding with my grandmother and it being so much fun, staying in the hotel, swimming in that pool. She bought me a new bathing suit. And so I just think that's what life is all about, are these experiences. And I was really happy to share that with Brooke. Of course, I would have been happy to share it with John, but I think it meant even more. And she always hears about, you know, my friends and everything. So it was good for her to meet, you know, my friends and coworkers and things like that. So we had planned on leaving at 9 a.m. on Friday. The wedding was on Saturday at 6. We had a room booked, and the wedding was at the Grove Park Inn, which is a very historic, beautiful, beautiful hotel and resort. I mean, just, it was so pretty. And you know how I am, how I always like I appreciate when a cat does classic cat things, when a dog does classic dog things.
What is she going on about now? We're going to a wedding, we're at a historical building, and now we flip to cats doing cat things. The fuck?
And a woman does classic woman things. You know, I love that. I used to love it when Bridget would bury her bone. Oh my gosh, I love it. She would bury it in her blanket and then do it with her nose down. I love instincts. One time I gave her a ginger snap. She took it outside through the doggy door, down the stairs, and dug the cutest little chihuahua hole and buried that ginger snap. I love it. So I love that.
I'm sorry, did I fall asleep a minute ago? Have I woken up in a fucking parallel universe? What have I missed? Why has she jumped from a historic building to Bridget burying a fucking ginger snap? I'm totally lost. What's going on?
Just things being so authentically them, and that is how this hotel was. That it was very nice, but it was still very in that spirit of the hotel. So, okay, so
What the fuck? I don't know what she's talking about. Did she just put a load of words into a bowl and take them out one at a time and just talk utter gibberish?
I'm getting ahead of myself. My car was still at Tesla in service, which is in Raleigh, 2 hours away. So we tried until the bitter end to get my car back, but they were so nice. They gave us a loaner, which was a brand new Tesla X Plaid, which is pretty equivalent to my car. It's just the SUV version that has the, doors that go up. So, I mean, all in all, I couldn't complain. Okay, so it looks like we left here.
Oh, I'm sure you could if you really wanted to.
Here about 9:55, and we stopped, got some food, and then John had already programmed in the GPS all of the charging stations. So we ended up stopping and charging. Then we get to the hotel.
You couldn't figure that out on your own?
This is a tour of our room and Brooke putting her stuff away. And that night I wore the Aritzia black dress. I love traveling in a dress because it's comfortable. Nothing's on your waist. I wore good old flip-flops. I think it was these. I think I put on my
Oh, can we see your toe imprint on them?
old Tory Burch little block heels, and we went down for dinner. The restaurant was gorgeous, and this was more of the casual one that had, burgers, a steak. Brooke had salmon, but look at the view. So right here on this patio ledge is where Sarah Jane was going to get married.
Oh,
so
wow.
we sat there, had the best meal. She had, the salmon. I had a burger with a fried egg. Ignore the fries and the lettuce and tomato. It doesn't matter how many times you tell them, they still bring it. Usually someone at the table will eat the fries. That's what I have come to find out. There's Brooke's salmon. I mean, just a beautiful view. Then all throughout
It's a beautiful view and you're showing us Brooke's salmon, yeah.
the hotel, they had all of these really cool antique things. Well, I grew up around antiques everywhere. My grandmother loves them. My mom and dad love them. And so I have an appreciation for antiques and everything. And here is an antique scale. And then here is Brooke in the room watching Friends. When I travel alone, I never even turn on the TV. I used to, years and years ago, I would turn on like the news or something. But now I've gotten to where I just want silence. I just try to...
Not a dig at Brooke at all, putting on the telly and making noise. How very dare she?
catch up with you guys on Instagram, post some things, maybe watch a video. I just kind of chill out. But she wanted to watch Friends. And then, okay, I'm going to get to my list a little bit of things that...
Please, not a list. We don't need a list. All we want to see is pictures of the wedding. That's it. Not asked about anything else.
that I talk about with Brooke when I have her in the car for 6 hours, you think that is just, wow, that's some valuable time. Now, I do tell her to bring her earphones and her earbuds because I think it's not practical to think we're going to want to talk about everything the whole time. And I understand she wants to listen to her music. I want to listen to my podcast. I actually took an online course from up there, and the way back I took the whole course. And so, but we do have those moments that we're talking and, all of those things. So,
Really?
I wrote down here, talk about her as a child and memories. So I always tell her funny things that she used to say. I tell her funny things that, we did. And,
I don't need to be on a fucking 6-hour car trip to talk to tech helper madam about funny things they did. We do it every day. Something will remind me of something every single day. Like, they didn't tell us what was in the box. So you only talk about these things when you're stuck in a car with her. Okay.
different words that she used to say. Like, for some reason, she called a spoon a boomsh. And I mean, I don't know where she got that from. She called a belt a seat belt, hotch this. I tell her what a stinker she was from the moment she was born. I mean, from the moment she was born, that kid has been just a little whippersnapper. And I think that that's so important because I want her to know how much I was there in the moment and how much I adored every second with her. Whether she was crying, whether she was being a stinker, whether she hated leaving. If you went to anyone's house, to any party, you can best bet when we left, Brooke was going to leave kicking and screaming. Then she got into this thing. And
that's why I told you. Children need to be counted down, autistic or not. You can't just whoop a child out of something and say, right, we're going now. They don't understand that. They're having fun. You tell them, we're going to be leaving in 10 minutes. We're going to be leaving in 5. We're going to be leaving in 4. And you count them down. And then when you say, okay, it's time to go, you haven't got a huge fucking tantrum going on.
And this, I don't know if it started when I was sewing or if it just got worse, but she had this thing at our old house. We had a glass storm door. Anyone who left our house had to wave bye to her at the door. And I'm telling you, that's
most children. And most humans know to wave at the child when they're leaving.
Person forgot and didn't do it because our driveway was long and it was a hill and you did have to pay attention getting out. And I think some people, even John, would forget. John would have to come back. I would have to call him and say, she is throwing a fit. But even people that would...
You couldn't handle her having a fit, obviously.
Come buy a bag and pick up their bag or their window treatments or something like that. Come look at fabric and stuff like that. She would have them wave to her at the door. So it was hilarious. I would tell her all those, stories like that. Another thing that I have always done, and I am so grateful, I take pictures of my children when they're not looking. I have a collection of my children sleeping. There is something about when they are sleeping, they're just little angels. And it takes me back to just looking at them as a baby sleeping. I mean, it doesn't matter how old they get. Will doesn't even hardly look like the same child because when he was little, he was blonde and chubby. Now he's got dark hair and he's tall and thin. But
you had to tell the world that he was chubby. Did you?
But when I look at him sleeping or I catch him just right, for one thing, he looks so much like my brother. I adore those moments. So I am very good at taking pictures of moments. And
so does every fucker else, Lisa. You're no different. Oh, I want to instill this magic to people. They won't know to take pictures when people aren't looking. Really. My 2 favourite pictures was of Tech Help in Wales outside the house jumping in a puddle and I've caught him in the air, and Madam on the trampoline here and I've caught her in the air, and it's like, I love them pictures.
Then years later, I love looking and remembering those moments. It's about each moment. So I do a lot of that. Take pictures while sleeping. I mean, I will flat take a picture of her while she's sleeping in the car, dipping her chicken nuggets. I mean, any moment that I'm feeling, I take a picture of it. Another thing is, and then we'll go further, I love talking to her about how much I love John and what a good father he is, what a good husband.
Right, you do that all the time, do you? Okay. Is that why she called him a fuck boy? Her words, not mine. Do you remember that? When she was writing crap on the internet and showing her tits to the world? Oh, but you've just got the perfect house and the perfect children and the perfect husband, haven't you? That's why you're buying yourself into obscurity, to fill that huge hole.
And he is. I mean, we can laugh at the funny things he does, the way he smacks gum, the way he won't hang up the phone. Like when you talk to John on the cell phone, you could be there for days because he will not hang up. And just different little funny things that he says. He has this voice that he talks in. He used to do it with Bridget a lot, and he sounds like Mickey Mouse. I mean, all of those little funny things we talk about. And I feel like that's another thing that just, instead of like lecturing her on, you know, because Brooke has a boyfriend that she's had for years that we really like. But I've told her.
Oh, it sounds like it. Oh, that we really like.
Many, many times, that's your life. You need to make those decisions. You need to make wise decisions. You need to do what it takes to be confident in yourself so that you make wise decisions. And lately, Brooke decided on her own that she wanted to lose a little bit of weight. She was never overweight, but...
Really, did she? I wonder why that was. Why did she decide she needed to lose weight? Why? Tell me. Nothing to do with you being on the scales every day, is it? No. Brooke, what are you doing? Weighing yourself with your clothes on? As opposed to, Brooke, what the hell are you doing? Step away from the scales. There's nothing wrong with you.
But she had gotten to that point where she wasn't happy. She wasn't feeling confident. And since then, she has lost, gosh, I think, if I had to say, I think 13 pounds, and she looks amazing. Well, I can see.
She looked amazing always.
How that has affected her life. She's working more. She's just way more an even keel in her attitude, in how she reacts to things, the decisions that she makes. I can really tell a big difference. So that is something I'm very proud of her for. So I took a lot of pictures.
You're proud of her for losing weight. Do you realise what you're saying?
When I saw her just looking so good, so confident, because I have been out of town with her in the past where she could put an outfit on and then it ruined the rest of the day. She has a negative vibe. She doesn't feel good about herself, doesn't feel like going anywhere, and I can relate because I've been there. So it's not a superficial thing that if you don't feel good in your skin, to get to figure out what it is, get to feeling good in your skin, and you will make better decisions. So
everybody needs to go on the carnivore diet and lose weight to be happy.
I trust that with her relationship, she's making those good decisions. I don't want to hear about personal things. I don't want to hear about partying. I don't want to lecture her. I want to show her a good example. I want to show her what a good mom looks like and feels like. I want to tell her about my good parents felt like, looked like, why I do the things I do, what the advice that Nanny and Poppy gave to me. I want to instill those values in her naturally. And, you know,
that's cute, Nanny and Poppy. I love how different regions and different countries and all the rest of it have different names for their grandparents. Like Irish grands are grannies. Jed's mother was grandma. I'm sorry, I just think that's so sad. I used to keep going around going, Grandma, we love you. It's really sad. But I like that, Nana and Poppy.
When I tell her something and she can think back to this example, it's going to be much more valuable than me lecturing to her about not drinking or not doing this or not doing that. It's much more valuable to show them, why, and, all of those things. So I really do love those talks about I tell her, things I did that I regretted. I don't tell her every little nitty gritty detail about my life. I certainly don't talk about personal things. Between John and I, my children know John's the head of the household. God is the head of the household. John and I, then the children equally, and the family there too. They know the hierarchy around here. And what that creates is safety, a safe feeling. Your children don't want you running all around and you're not creating a safe environment. And so that's a big thing that I want to talk about. And I don't know if you know, but I created a Patreon channel, and even to
Oh, we know. Everybody and their granny knows that you created a Patreon. Yeah. And shouldn't this have been on there? Isn't this the sort of woo-woo bollocks that you said you'd put on the Patreon channel?
today I've got another thing here, balancing feminine and masculine energies today we're going to talk about being a single mom, but even to be a mom, period. Your job is to guide them and use your masculine energy to be able to drive 6 hours and find your destination, charge your car, all those things that
What? You need masculine energy to be able to drive 6 hours and find a charging station? Really? John had already programmed in the fucking charging stations, so you didn't need to do that, did you? How is driving a car 6 hours a masculine thing? What the actual fudge, Lisa? You talk bollocks. I'm sorry.
I have to do that if John was with us, he'd be doing. But in between that, there's that delicate dance of being back into your feminine energy and your nurturing. And that's
Back into. You never go from one to the other. You are whole as a person. You do lots of different things as yourself. You're not jumping around into different fucking energies. The frig is she talking about?
what I was raised around. That comes very natural to me. Okay, so now let's get back to what we did. Okay, the next morning we went to the breakfast buffet, my favorite thing. And I told her we knew we needed to go get a bra, the tape, and oh, it was so much colder there. North Carolina is a really cool state. We have the beach, the mountains.
I'm sorry, do you not pack a jumper just in case? How many sweaters have you bought over the last 6 months? And you didn't bring one with you? The fuck?
I mean, even driving up those hills was scary for me. And because it's really flat here. So we got up there and my dress was long, so I wasn't quite as worried about it. I got something, but I didn't end up needing it. But her dress was spaghetti straps and short. And I will link our dresses down below. And because we loved them and they were not very expensive. And so we went and got her a wrap and we got the things we needed. We ate breakfast first, came right back to the hotel. Brooke went to the gym. She loves working out like her daddy. She loves vitamins like her daddy. She's got a lot of her daddy and my mom in her. My mom also is intrigued by vitamins, holistic things, doesn't like to take medicine, wears Birkenstocks, very much more of that.
I don't understand. What does wearing Birkenstocks have to do with fucking anything? Does that tell you what type of person a person is by their shoes? Well, what are you then? And them fugly Chanel things you bought?
That very feminine granola vibe, if you know what I mean.
No,
so we ate
I don't.
Breakfast. Then we went to the little mall. We got our things. We came back. Brooke went to the gym and I rested. That is something I rarely do these days, is just rest. It's almost like where you don't...
I rested. What had you done? You'd eaten breakfast, gone to buy a wrap and come back. I thought you were full of energy on the carnivore diet.
Don't take a nap. You're just in that state It's almost what I imagine like meditating, or it might even be REM sleep, but where you're not totally asleep, you might not even turn over, but I remember I kept thinking, I can't believe I'm doing this. This is good for you, Lisa. You need to rest. All those things that come. Because actually, that's a feminine energy thing, is to rest and relax.
If she says feminine energy one more fucking time.
Take baths, do all those things that kind of feed your soul, and where you're in your senses and you are just feeling that goodness, So I had a really good nap. Brooke came in from the gym and she got in the shower. And so I started waking up, and I actually had my Gap video to post that night. It was a collaboration. So here we go back into my masculine energy. I had work to do. I had obligations.
Oh, so only men work then, really? You need your masculine energy to work. I can't with this woman. Utter bollocks. 28 minutes and 9 seconds of utter shite.
So I got that done, and then we got ready for the wedding. Now, it was raining, you guys. And I'm talking raining cats and dogs. I'm talking, it looked like somebody was sending buckets of water off the roof. Marnie and her husband were staying at the Biltmore. We were meeting them downstairs in this big, gorgeous lobby at 4:30. So we did that. We met Madison Payne from YouTube. We met her down there too. And we realized, the guy told us that not only was the wedding, she had already gotten a tent, a big, beautiful tent. Not only was the wedding not going to start at 6, they had to call the tent people back out because the tent had collapsed on a corner. So we had a lot of time to just sit and talk. I just enjoyed watching Brooke interact with these adults, and I enjoyed her meeting all these people that have been in my life for years, like
You enjoyed watching Brooke interact with adults. She's 20 fucking 4, Lisa, not 12. I was working behind a bar at 13. In a nightclub. With big fucking brawny Irishmen shouting at me. Hey up, Blondie. How would she have coped with that? Oh, I'm so proud of her. She can talk to grown-ups. Whoop, whoop. See, this is what I don't understand. People are paying her for this type of fucking information. What the hell is going on? That people need to pay to listen to this fucking empty-headed doll talk about the amazing things she does in her life when she hasn't been anywhere other than where she lives.
Marnie, and I loved just watching that. I loved her being confident, happy, and, us spending that time together. Okay, I did take some pictures of her getting ready. Oh my gosh, you guys. So beautiful. So beautiful. Then I took up some pictures of us. I loved my dress. I came out and she says, wow, you get ready fast. Okay, then more things that I like to talk about Brooke with, and I've kind of already mentioned this, is stories of my childhood. Things were so different, of course, you guys know this. Things were so different when we were young. And I like to tell her stories of like catching minnows down at the stream. That was one of my favorite things to do. We would have nets. We would make dams. I mean, we would make tree houses.
I can't with this woman. I just fucking can't. Do you know what she's just said? She took Brooke to this wedding, right? Brooke is 24. Oh, I was so proud of Brooke talking to all the grown-ups. She's 20 fucking 4. I don't know. If you could see his face. I will be back. What were you going to say?
Nothing.
No, go on. Oh, you don't want to say it on here?
No, it's just that... see, this is how Lisa was brought up.
In a fucking bubble.
with Daddy.
Yeah. Weird. I was so proud of her. Ooh. Right, I'll be back in a minute, people, if I can fucking remember what button I'm pressing. There we go. Back.
We would make little camps in the woods, you know, everybody go home and get like one garden tool from their parents and, you know, things like that. And then tell her ways I am proud of her. Ways she has
You need to write this down.
improved, unique traits that I love. Okay, this is something I think is very, very important. It's been for us. I think it's really good it's tempting to like talk to your children about what they need to work on, but I think it's even more productive to talk to them about things that you have seen improvement and things that you love about them that are different and unique, especially with a mother-daughter. You know, Brooke and
Haven't you been doing this since she was a toddler? Most normal mothers do that. And we don't need to write a list of things to talk about in the fucking car. On the really, really, really long 6-hour journey. God, I used to watch somebody back in the day.
I are so different.
I think her name was Angie. She had 2 boys. And her husband was in the military. And when her husband got out of the military, he did his master's or whatever, because he wanted to be a teacher. Once he'd done that, she did hers. And they showed those boys how hard work gets you stuff. And then in the middle of the night, they'd pick them up, they'd put them in the car, wrap them up in pillows and blankets and whatever, and they'd go off on an adventure, go to, I don't know, Disney or whatever, go on holiday. And they didn't need a list of things to talk about in the car. They didn't need to have your wisdom to know what to do with their children. Angie took pictures of her boys when they weren't looking all the time. It's what normal parents do. You're not any fucking different. You think you've got all the answers. You haven't.
Different.
I forgot why I started that story, but anywho.
We're very different. She is a free spirit. She's so sweet and she feels everything. I guarantee she cried more than anyone at that wedding. She feels things on a deep level. And I didn't know that for a long time and I didn't appreciate it.
You didn't know that for a long time. See? You've just answered my question. You're only trying to get to know your kids now because you could...
And I didn't nurture that part of her for a long time because in my mind, suck it up. You know what I mean? Like, what's your problem? So I've really learned to nurture that part of her that is unique and different, tell her how much I love it, and just, I love that. Okay, observe life lessons, want to her experience nice things. Now this may be, you know, not popular thing to say, but I think a lot of how you view money, how you view success, how you view experiences, mindsets, all of those things are developed early in life. And if you're never exposed to nice things and happy people, successful people that still love their families, being successful doesn't mean you're a bad person. I think that is just very, very inspiring. I never want my children to feel like you can have it all. You can be very, very successful, a very good wife, a very good mother, a good person, buy nice things and give to charity. You don't have to pick one thing. I think.
Oh, have you been listening to my videos? When do you give to charity though, Lisa? If you did it on a regular basis, or if it was something that was instilled in you, you wouldn't film yourself going to the hurricane relief with one shitty fucking fitted sheet that didn't fit your bed. Why would you film that?
I think there are so many limiting beliefs instilled in children that I never want to do that. So anyway, okay, the wedding.
Nobody puts limited beliefs into their children. Everybody brings their children up saying you can do whatever you want to do if you work hard and put your mind to it. Who's not saying that to their children?
Was gorgeous. I got to meet Christian, my editor, because that is how I met him, was through Sarah Jane. That was great. I've got cool pictures of the hallway.
I've got cool pictures of the hallway. What the actual fuck? I'm just waiting for the kid to come round on the tricycle and ride up the middle. Or the two girls out The Shining. What the frig? I took a picture of the hallway.
Yes, going down there in the lobby. And sorry, I'll probably sprinkle a lot of these pictures throughout. And then we sat at a table with Christian, his sister, her husband, Marnie and her husband. I had a good filet, and Brooke ate the cake. We had pictures in like a little picture machine, and then we went to bed. We left around 9:30. And this is something you guys already know about me, is I'm really an introvert. I love being social. I love people. Brooke and I both.
So the wedding was late. It was due to start at 6, but because of the rain and the tent being wonky, it was later, and you left at 9:30. So basically, you watched, you ate, you fucked off before a wedding even got going. Who leaves a wedding before you've had a boogie? Really?
Love people, but I don't like crowds that much. I prefer an intimate setting.
Oh, and you're not giving off that vibe to your daughter, are you? Dragging her to bed at 9:30.
So when the wedding is starting to break up, people are starting to move around, dancing, all of that stuff, that's when it becomes a little bit more overwhelming to me. And Brooke was ready to go to bed, and we knew we had a 6-hour drive on.
A 6-hour drive. Honestly, I can't with this woman. For fuck's sake.
To come home. Doesn't sound like much to most of you probably, but for someone that doesn't travel very much, that's a long time. And it was somewhat stressful driving a car that wasn't mine. Well, in the meantime, Tesla notifies us that we can pick up my car that day, day before yesterday, Sunday. So we had to drive, which it was very easy to drive through Raleigh. It actually saved John, a 4 hours there and back going to get it. That was not okay, here's a little life lesson. We're stopping at the charging station. Brooke, I could drop this car off with hardly any charge in it, but that would not be the thing to do. We're going to charge up this car and drop it off with a charge. I get in there,
I'm saying nothing, because if I let loose, I am going to fucking scream and I'm going to burst all your eardrums. Here's a life lesson. Really?
The place is booming on Sunday, and we have a hard time finding my car. The guy tells us to pop the trunk, so we do. We switch our stuff around, get in my car, it's on like 10%. We have to drive straight to a charger to charge it. They left it seat all back, left it in the service mode, pine straw and junk in there. That would be like another little ting to Tesla, because the service experience is not like it is with Volkswagen, with Buick, BMW.
How much charge was on it when John dropped it off? Did he drop it off with a full charge? Fucking woman.
GMC, I'm trying to think of all the cars that I've had to service. It's not the same. And so we leave there, and both of us are feeling, I'm not kidding, we're both feeling a little frustrated. So we go charge, and then.
Why is Brooke frustrated? Because you are. Why are you frustrated? All you have to do is go and fucking charge it. Isn't there a charging port where you picked it up?
Then on the way home, Brooke looks at me and says, "Thank you for taking me, Mama." And I say, "You're welcome, baby. Thank you for coming with me, and all is well." And so we get home. I wear my pink outfit from Gap that I love so much. I love those Gap clothes. We actually did eat breakfast at the buffet, and I got a big old 4-egg omelet with sausage in it. And then John met us out on the driveway. He can track my car on the app, so
I'm sorry, where were you eating? I thought you were driving home.
He always knows where I am and when I'm coming home. And he fixed me steak and magic chicken, which magic chicken is chicken thighs cooked on the grill. And
What's magic about it?
here we are. Brooke's actually upstairs right now doing some things for me. And we're going to go to the pool. And I'm going to do a video for my Patreon channel. John is playing golf. Will doesn't always like to go to the pool because there are a lot of kids over there and it can get loud and everything. So, and I will take him to lunch. I also think it's important to spend time with your son if you're the mother. And I do miss taking him to school and bringing him home. So I do try to grab every little moment that I can, but I'll be honest, him and John are tight. They're both computer geeks. They both love stuff like that. So it's very easy for them to spend that time and for John to in turn talk about those things with him. And then when we get together as a family, like we're getting ready to go to Palm Beach in about a month. So the dress I have on is the one from Guess that I shared with you in my Miami vlog. I did get my nails done pink, you guys. I'm back. I miss having colored nails. I know it's not as practical, but I miss it. I feel like this is me. And I'll put an outfit of the day in here. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Thank fuck that's done with. I'm sorry, I've never heard such bollocks in my entire life as she just spewed then. What in the Anyway, if you got to the end with me, huge congratulations, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.